Dating someone with avoidant attachment can feel confusing, painful, and unpredictable. If you don't understand these 6 patterns, it's easy to mistake emotional distance for lack of love. This video explains 6 specific dynamics that often occur when you're in a relationship with someone who has an avoidant attachment style. Number 6 is one of the most overlooked factors in attachment dynamics. Many people enter these relationships without fully understanding the psychological and emotional patterns that come with avoidant attachment. And often, this lack of understanding leads to frustration, anxiety, and relationship breakdown. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how avoidant attachment works in relationships and what challenges you can expect to face if you continue dating someone with this pattern. Number 1. Avoidant partners require regular space, and it's not about you. One of the most common misunderstandings in relationships with avoidant individuals is interpreting their need for space as rejection. In reality, needing distance is a core feature of how avoidant attachment functions. Individuals with high levels of avoidant attachment often experience discomfort with too much closeness. This discomfort can be physiological. Their body may react with stress when intimacy increases. To regulate their internal experience, avoidantly attached people often withdraw or limit emotional engagement, especially after moments of closeness. This does not necessarily mean they've lost interest, but that they are trying to regain a sense of control and autonomy. Understanding that their need for distance is about their internal regulation, not your value, is key to avoiding unnecessary conflict. Number 2. Emotional expression will be limited, often significantly. Avoidantly attached individuals tend to downplay emotional needs, both their own and their partner's. This means they are unlikely to offer frequent verbal reassurance. They may avoid emotionally vulnerable conversations. They often struggle to recognize or respond to their partner's emotional cues. This doesn't mean avoidant individuals don't care, but their attachment style often leads them to suppress emotional reactions rather than openly engage with them. When someone else is in distress, they might seem distant or unsure of how to respond, not because they lack empathy, but because they're uncomfortable with emotional intensity and may not have learned how to respond to it in close relationships. If you're someone who needs emotional responsiveness or consistent verbal connection to feel secure, this dynamic can feel extremely unbalanced. In such relationships, you may frequently find yourself feeling emotionally isolated or unsure of where you stand, even if the relationship appears stable on the surface. Number 3. Patterns of withdrawal may increase as the relationship deepens. Avoidant attachment strategies often emerge most clearly as emotional closeness increases. This can look like becoming less communicative after the relationship seems to progress, creating physical or emotional distance following intimate conversations, minimizing discussions about the future or shared goals. Avoidant partners may not even be consciously aware of this pattern, but their internal system equates too much closeness with a loss of independence or personal safety. This is often referred to as a deactivating strategy. Actions that suppress or block attachment needs to maintain emotional control. If you interpret this behavior as personal rejection, you may react with protest behaviors, such as asking for more contact, expressing frustration, or demanding clarity, which typically only reinforces the avoidance drive to withdraw further. Recognizing this push-pull dynamic is crucial. It's not about manipulation. It's a protective strategy shaped by early relational experiences. Number 4. You may find yourself carrying the emotional weight of the relationship. In many anxious avoidant relationships, one partner ends up managing most of the emotional and relational tasks. This includes initiating conversations about the relationship, clarifying misunderstandings, asking for connection or time together, holding space for emotional processing. Over time, this dynamic can feel one-sided. You may feel like you're doing the work of two people, while your partner appears disengaged or indifferent. Avoidant individuals often have difficulty accessing and expressing internal emotional states. They may not see the need for emotional conversations at all, which can leave their partner feeling unseen or unsupported. Unless the avoidant partner has done significant personal development or therapy work, they may not recognize this imbalance. This dynamic can lead to emotional burnout in the more attuned partner, especially if they begin to suppress their own needs just to maintain the relationship. Number 5. Self-doubt and internal conflict can increase over time. In avoidant relationships, the core damage often happens quietly. You may not experience overt disrespect or verbal mistreatment, but the ongoing emotional distance, lack of clarity, and irregular engagement can lead you to question your own expectations, needs, and self-worth. This is known as relational self-abandonment, when someone slowly begins to suppress their authentic needs to preserve the connection. You may begin to tell yourself things like, maybe I'm asking for too much, maybe I'm just too sensitive, I should just learn to be more independent. While self-awareness and regulation are valuable, it's important to distinguish between healthy flexibility and emotional self-neglect. Just because someone else is uncomfortable with emotional closeness doesn't mean you should compromise your relational needs. Over time, internalizing this imbalance can damage your self-esteem and make it harder to recognize healthy relational dynamics in the future. Number 6. Nervous system dysregulation is common, especially in anxious avoidant dynamics. One of the most overlooked factors in attachment dynamics is nervous system regulation. Avoidant and anxious attachment styles often create what's called an activated attachment system. The anxious partner becomes activated when the avoidant withdraws. The avoidant partner becomes activated when the anxious partner seeks closeness. This cycle creates ongoing dysregulation for both people. From a neuroscience perspective, attachment behaviors are deeply linked to nervous system responses. Studies using functional MRI and heart rate monitoring have shown that insecurely attached individuals experience increased stress and decreased emotional coherence during attachment-related conflict. This stress cycle often results in both partners feeling emotionally unsafe, even though their behaviors are attempts to find stability. The only way to interrupt this cycle is through conscious nervous system regulation. For the anxious partner, developing self-soothing skills and resisting the urge to pursue when triggered. For the avoidant partner, learning to stay present during emotional discomfort instead of escaping it. Without these skills, the relationship can easily become emotionally exhausting for both parties, leading to burnout, chronic conflict, or emotional shutdown. The core challenge. It's important to understand that avoidantly attached individuals are not trying to hurt their partners. Their attachment style is a self-protective response, typically formed in early relational environments where emotional needs were not consistently met. The problem arises when this attachment style remains unconscious and unaddressed. In that state, it is nearly impossible for mutual emotional intimacy to grow, because one partner is continually trying to connect, while the other is focused on staying protected. This creates a fundamental mismatch. One person seeks closeness to feel safe. The other needs distance to feel safe. Unless this dynamic is identified and addressed, the relationship will remain stuck in cycles of pursuit and withdrawal, intimacy and avoidance, connection and disconnection. Can it work? Yes, but only under specific conditions. For relationships involving an avoidant partner to succeed long-term, the following conditions usually need to be in place. Mutual self-awareness. Both partners recognize their attachment tendencies and how those play out in the relationship. Willingness to grow. The avoidant partner is willing to work on staying emotionally present and expanding their capacity for intimacy. Clear boundaries. the other partner maintains healthy standards and does not abandon their emotional needs for the sake of the relationship. Nervous system regulation. Both individuals understand how their internal responses impact their communication and patterns. Without these components, the relationship often becomes one of emotional imbalance, unspoken frustration, and unmet needs, even if both people genuinely care about each other. Conclusion. Avoidant attachment is not a flaw, but it is a challenge, especially in intimate relationships. It often involves suppressed emotional expression, discomfort with closeness, and strong independence needs. If you're dating someone avoidant, it's essential to be aware of the emotional dynamics at play. This includes understanding their need for space, their limited emotional availability, the push-pull cycles that can emerge, the potential for self-doubt in their partner, the importance of nervous system regulation. Relationships with avoidantly attached individuals can succeed, but they require a high level of awareness, communication, and emotional maturity from both people. It is not your responsibility to fix someone's attachment style, but it is your responsibility to recognize what your nervous system and emotional well-being can truly handle. Understanding this allows you to make informed, grounded choices, not based on fantasy or hope, but on awareness and reality. Watch the next video on screen to learn what types of people avoidant partners obsess over.